Good afternoon, YouTube friends, guests, and subscribers. I wanted to do a quick recap video for you guys of my battery bank that I have inside of my home. Give you guys a little background. Yankee 4 requested that I do a video or overview of my battery bank, so I figure I'd go ahead and let you guys see what we've done to supply power for our home. Before I even get into it, let me tell you a little bit about how this became a part of our home and what safety measures we used and what decisions linked this to becoming a part of the inside of our home. So we purchased a mobile home not too long ago, probably a little over a year, maybe a year and a half ago. We moved from the big cities, well, I say the big city of Richmond Hill, down to a part where we're more familiar. And in Richmond Hill, we had a grid tie inverter, and we used it to basically supplement power. And before that, we had a home that was completely off grid, and we always wanted to go back to off grid. And in fact, we were trying to find the best way to keep from having to spend as much as we were. So we took that $1,800 a month rent and decided to turn that into a savings for us to be able to purchase a more permanent place. And what we did is we took our money, saved up, and were able to buy a mobile home, and basically decided that with that extra money we were going to use that money to build it up the way we want it, add on to it, build another one, add more land, rent out the property, whatever we may decide to do. And so far it's been an adventure, but what we ended up deciding on doing when we got here was going off grid completely. In fact, we never hooked up the utility except for getting our internet access turned on, because it was getting kind of expensive using our cell phones for internet. So basically we got here, we instantly put a 1.2 kilowatts on the roof just to hold them there until we finally moved down. It took us about a month to move. Keep in mind, I was working at the time still, full-time, about 60 hours a week. She wasn't, but it was difficult for her to move. And man, we had 3 kids in school. It was a lot of, or 2 kids in school and 1 kid not in school. So it was a lot to deal with. But we decided to put the panels on the roof to keep the batteries in float while we were moving back and forth, and half the time staying in hotels. We were able to basically power the house. Once we got here, we used the back room, which is now the bedroom, to house the batteries and basically keep things to where we were powering the home through our sub panel we put in the wall, but weren't powering the entire house. In fact, only the left side of the house was fully integrated into the sub panel. Once we finally got to the living room area, once we got a bedroom finished, a bathroom finished, and gutted all the walls and did all those things, we decided to go ahead and integrate it into the other part of the house, and actually ran some network wiring, ran some new power wires, new outlets, replaced some burnt out outlets that were just under gauged on the wire. I guess they used ACs in the window, and they had some thin improperly gauged wire in there. So we replaced that, did some roof work, did some outside vinyl work, and really just tried to re-gut the entire place. But along the way, like I said, we used temporary setup in there, and then we decided to move into what was known as the laundry area and convert it into a battery bank slash inverter control center. And basically we converted the part where our heater, or our I guess they called it a I guess it was called a heater. It basically provided heat for the home. It was non-functional, it was old, we wanted to get rid of it. We took that, gutted it out, and using the cabinet space of that, we rebuilt and stationed the walls to where we could mount our inverter, charge controllers, and equipment behind this housing here. Alongside of that was where the laundry went, and we had the dryer there. We moved it down, closed up the door that went to the bathroom, and then rerouted the door from the bedroom into the bathroom to make it a master bath, but also to give us the space so that we can mount our battery bank. We used the existing vent from the dryer and went through the wall and put a vacuum hose of a sort in the wall so that we could vent out the gases, and then we put another hole inside of the roof to pull the hydrogen gas through the enclosure up through to the roof so that we wouldn't have a buildup of gases. Anyway, with that being said, let me show you what we've done, and I'll show you what I got. All right, so it's gonna take a little bit of a few seconds. I decided to not put a latch on this part in particular, only because it's the battery bank, and I didn't want to have my kids having access to batteries. I do have a set of batteries accessible here, but that was my more choice than anything. I wanted to be able to water my batteries, and I've raised the battery bank up with just a tidbit just so I could do that. And I wanted to have a big wide door where I could get access to it. And not only that, my kids are only so tall at this moment, they can't reach up here and they can't put anything up there. Alright, so just letting them in. So let me put this last screw in. Sometimes I don't know how to put this up. Let's see here. Wish I had the drill. Okay. Anyway, they're just held up with wood screws. It might be a little dusty. I did an equalize session not too long ago. I cleaned it up, but I also had to refill the battery, so it might have a little water or something down here. But anyway, hopefully you can see well enough. Here's the Trojan T605s. I have 3 battery banks basically, and the 2 bottom levels are my T605s. I have a spacing here to where I have enough area I can get down here with my water and refill the batteries. One of these is a great investment, especially if you're using wet cell batteries. I don't think you can use them with AGM anyway, but this is a great investment. Basically, I put my siphon down there, it fills the water up to a point, and once it's full, it stops siphoning or putting water into the batteries. So a great investment. And then you can see I have my wires going through, drill some holes, mounted it, got a little support under there. Real strong wood. I honestly had to get the wood cut by Home Depot just to make sure it was straight, because I at the time didn't have a workbench. But as you can see, the batteries are pretty well ventilated, pretty well spaced. I have a temperature monitor on each level. On this particular set right here, I have a auto water function. I tried to integrate it with all 3 levels, but because it's on 3 different heights, the water actually was soaking the batteries at the bottom and barely filling the ones at the top. So I decided against that. Instead, I have this one self-watering because it's a lower access point. I can still get the siphon down there. I just can't keep it there and see what I'm doing. But anyway, those batteries are hooked up to an auto water level, and those are manually watered down at the bottom. At the top, you guys have already seen it. I do have a little bit different brand. They didn't have Trojans at the time, so I ended up buying from Battery Source the same ampere rating batteries. So they're technically the equivalent of T605s. Bought them, put them in, and actually wired them up. And this came from the wiring I bought from the same place to wire those in there. While I got you here, I want to go ahead and let you guys see my battery balancers. These are, I believe, a great investment. I wish I had like a LED indicator or something on there, but basically these keep my battery bank equalized. I do have 3 of them. I have one at this 48 volt level, another at this 48 volt level, and a third at this 48 volt level. And what they do is they hook up to 4 batteries at a time. So I have them hooked up to every 12 volt pair of 6 volt batteries. And basically how that works out is, as the batteries are charging, let's say you end up charging the batteries without the equalizer. What ends up happening is you got a great amount of power going to this battery, and then it basically trickles through the rest of them. And you know, the best way to measure that or see it is to actually take the multimeter to each pole while you're charging the batteries. You'll see basically maybe these are at 12.8. Then you'll go down to 12.75, then you'll go down to 12.7, and so on and so on. And then when you multiply that times multiple battery banks, you end up having an issue where maybe these are at 48 volts, these are at 49 volts, and the others are at 51 volts, just based off of the chemistries and then the distance between the wiring from the panels, and more important, all the math and sciences behind why they will never be balanced. Now, keep in mind, there's no optimal way that I found to keep the batteries balanced, but I found that these battery equalizers help with maintaining the individual banks. For instance, with the equalizers attached, if I had my multimeter, I'd show you, but with my equalizer attached, these batteries, as they're filling up, these will be at 12.8, these will be at 12.79, 12.78, and then basically another 12.89. It keeps the batteries basically within 0.1 volt of each other, so that it doesn't have the battery bank basically out of disarray. You'll find that if you wear down this particular set of 12 volts, you'll find that the entire bank might fail because these are prematurely getting destroyed, while these, for instance, are in perfect health. And you can switch them around and whatnot, but honestly, the battery equalizer that I purchased ends up working perfect for this. I've had these batteries since 2013, if not 2012, and haven't had any issues with them. I really say that the battery desulfator that I have hooked up to them does the most with it. The health of the batteries, but the battery equalizers absolutely work. I was testing them out based off of what one of the other YouTubers was saying, and I decided to use it, and man, he was right. They work great. Now, I do use 0 gauge wire for interconnects to each battery, and then here I get as low as 4 gauge wire, or get as high as 4 gauge wire that connect them to this side here, which is where I have my power and command center. Real quick, just wanted to show you my battery desulfator. It still works. If I have my thermal camera on it, you can see it's actually heated up right now. The LED went out on it for some reason, but it basically keeps the batteries equalized. And then I have my fuses, well, actually breakers from Midnight Solar. And you guys already seen the power center and all those good things. You guys know what they look like. You know how they work. Just want, like I said, wanted to do a reply video for Yankee 4. Let him see what I've done. Kind of give him maybe some ideas. Maybe he's got something to give me. Maybe you guys have something to give me. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, let me know in the comment section what you'd like to see, and we'll go ahead and get that out for you. Thank you for sharing the video. Thank you for seeing the video. Have a great day.